Welcome to this week's episode of Need to Heed with Jake Lynch.
And Fernando Davila.
This week's episode is called Selection of Disinhibition, essentially meaning that, inhibitions are things that keep you from being comfortable and going after opportunities. So when you select a de-inhibition, you are going out of your way to go after an opportunity and putting yourself at 100% at that opportunity. So this week, essentially, when we're talking about opportunities, we're talking about opportunities for self-improvement. And when you self-actualize and you self-improve, when you come to opportunities elsewhere in life, you'll be better equipped to tackle those opportunities and any of the challenges that could come along with them. So why is this important? Really, who doesn't want to be their best self? Who doesn't want to be able to go about life in a less stressful manner and have good, healthy relationships in a mindful way that we're teaching here at Mindful Me? We're really excited, actually, with the opportunities that we're coming across. Fernando and I could tell you all about the fact that Broward County Public Schools is using our format in their school tools all across the county, trying to push what we have, all of our content and all of the videos we have in helping children learn. Right, Fernando?
Yes, they are definitely trying to push and motivate the message that we are giving out to everyone and really extend through the whole county. So that's really big for us, for Mindful Me. That's really our goal, is to, help as many people as we can. And having the district on board with us in those terms and using our school tools is really nice. Just like we've always mentioned with this whole new pandemic and this new system of school, it's good to have tools that really help the mind. So it's really nice that we get to contribute with this. And like Jake was saying, who doesn't want to be the best of themselves? I mean, there's always room for improvement, no matter who you are, no matter who you're with, no matter what you're doing, there's always room for improvement. So that's really big.
Yeah. So when it comes to seizing your opportunities for self-improvement, it also is a big way to help your own personal relationships, help for better communication, stuff like that, as well as overall satisfaction, overall satisfaction with yourself, with your interactions on a daily level, to weekly level, to monthly and yearly, and so on. Just about how you're going through life and making sure that you feel like you're giving every opportunity your best shot. So to begin with how we better come to our self-improvement opportunities, one of the big things to talk about is organization. This is very similar to what we talked about last week.
Yes. So just to give a quick recap for those people that are here new, Jake, and whoever possibly didn't watch the last podcast from our series, or just forgets a little bit, because I know it was a while back. It was organization through optimization. So in that podcast, we talked about the importance of organization, because honestly, organization can make time management much easier. When you and whoever you are working with is organized, you'll always get things done, and you'll know what needs to be done in what order in order to make the task at hand accomplishable and obviously satisfactory for whatever it is that you're doing. When you encourage the person you're working with to create a daily schedule of the top 3 or 4 tasks in the order of importance or priority, that makes them focus on it. So it helps them, stick to that list until it's accomplished. It gives them a guide. It gives them guidelines to what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and obviously like the why. Why is this more important than something else? So being organized in that sense is very important. And if you want to learn more about that, just go back to our last podcast that was 2 weeks ago, organization through optimization. It was really good. We went a lot more into detail. That was just a brief little recap of what it was. But no, additionally to organization, it's interpersonal communication, really. It doesn't matter if you manage a restaurant, a coffee shop, a call center, a team, if you're the captain of something, you and everyone else who works there can all stand to improve interpersonal communication. even if it's between team members. Like I said, if you're just a captain and there's other team members, or you're just a team member and you have a captain or whatever it is, being clear and direct in what you say, obviously without offending or being too harsh on them, will always improve the way that you work. With just a few suggestions on the list, like there's obviously like I said, communication within athletes is always crucial. Never offending someone, but telling them what needs to be done and how will always help both you yourself and your team and your teammate, obviously. It also helps with conflict resolution. I mean, even with Jake, we've been on teams together for many years, right, Jake? So
this is definitely true.
we've had to tell each other a couple of things in the sense of, hey, bro, you're doing this wrong. Do it this way, or bro, I think you can be more efficient if we work separately in this or together on this. And like obviously, every scenario is unique and different. So we've had different situations where we've had to either work together, work individually, work faster, work slower. You know what I mean? Everything's always unique, but it always does help the communication that we have. And honestly, Jade and I had it naturally. Like our chemistry is great. I don't know how we do it, but we get what we got to get done on time and good. So that's great. But it's really important to have the interpersonal communication skills. I mean, I've worked at retail stores for 3 years now, and the communication skills is crucial. And now I'm in sales, so that's even bigger now. So interpersonal communication is honestly one of the best attributes to have. Conflict resolution, conflict among employees, family members, relationships, your significant others is bound to happen, even the most well-adjusted teams. Whether it's through teammates, like conflict is just always there. Sometimes the stress just overwhelms and friction produces a flame, obviously. So the stress just keeps urging and urging and urging on until there's a breaking point where there will be a conflict. No major conflict, maybe minor conflicts in terms of an argument or something like that. But it's usually the manager of a job, the captain of a team, or the parents if it's between siblings or something like that, that has to put out this fire of conflict. So the stress creates the flame, and the one in charge is who takes care of this fire. And but if you can train your employees, your teammates, or your significant other to resolve their own disagreements, it will benefit the business or it will benefit the relationship as a whole. I mean, let's say you're in a relationship and there's conflict. Once you and your significant other learn how to cope with each other, their stress, whatever it is, it'll resolve the disagreement on its own. It'll benefit the relationship for the better. If you and your siblings are arguing or fighting and you sit back and you're like, all right, admit I'm wrong or admit you're wrong and we'll be fine, there won't be a need to have a parent, get involved in the middle of it. Same thing in the workforce. You and your coworkers disagree on something. You can always agree to disagree. You can always come up with a resolution together without getting a manager involved and potentially, getting someone in trouble if it's not needed. Additionally to the resolution of conflict, it also helps with patience. I mean, we all think we have patience. That is until, something that's difficult and we begin to lose our cool at the smallest problem. I mean, like I said earlier, stress just keeps going and going and going until there's a breaking point in everything, really. So being patient is definitely crucial. If you see that your team is facing this situation more often than not in terms of not being patient, then don't despair. You can encourage them to improve their patience with a little practice. I mean, there's always techniques to work on patience, and it truly does help. I mean, with Jake, we've seen this too. We stress each other out, even though we're like a great team. There's always stress between something, or there's always they're trying to
There's always something to do.
It's something normal. It's gonna be there. It's not something that's gonna go away from one day to the other, from a year to the next. I mean, it's always gonna be there, but obviously, it's always gonna get better. So when you feel like they might be on the verge of losing their cool in terms of your teammates, in terms of your significant other, in terms of your employees, if you're a manager, in terms of your coworkers, just instruct them to close their eyes, breathe deeply, and slowly count to 10 in their head. This simple technique, super simple. Like you can do it anywhere, anytime, however you want. This can really help them restore their patience during even the most tiring and worst circumstances out there, because it literally just calms you down. No matter what you're doing, no matter what you're going through, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just count to 10 in your head slowly, and keep breathing slowly. And honestly, it's a game changer. Seriously. So Jade, obviously there's a couple more things that I can stay talking all day. So jump in on this and put your feedback in.
We definitely know you could talk, but when it comes to you talking, a big thing that we can all do is listen. Effective listening, not just hearing, right? Because there's a difference between perceiving sound, right? Like you pick it up versus actually understanding what somebody's saying. So that's very, very important when it comes to communication between people, like you were saying, teammates or people that you work with, people that you have relationships with. It's very important to establish that line of communication where both people are listening rather than just hearing. And it just helps for a successful life. When you foster a mature listening skill in your life, your productivity will increase. You'll make fewer mistakes, and you'll just frankly be far more happy when you can recall what was happening. You'll be less stressed if you're actually listening because you won't be missing things that are happening right in front of you. And you'll be able to keep up better with your organization skills, as we talked about earlier. That is a big part of time management and being able to help yourself out. Another thing that you can do when it comes to your opportunities for self-improvement is always be on the look to learn new skills. One of the things for me that I've always wanted to do is to learn how to speak Spanish. Uh, Fernando, unfortunately, got me beat there right now, but coming
Very
from a
fortunate for me.
yeah, coming from multicultural families, Spanish is a big deal in my household and in my family. So being able to connect and possibly be able to listen better when I can understand both sides of where my family is coming from a linguistic standpoint. But unless you've got the perfect set of skills, which you probably don't,
No one
uh,
does.
no one does, but you will benefit from learning new skills. It trying to learn new skill not only stimulates thinking and creativity, but it increases your value of life. You know, you feel like you bring more to the table, that you're different from others, and this way it helps your satisfaction with what you can do, and you can maybe surprise yourself a little. Sometimes people go out and things are challenging at first, but you are the ones that surprise yourself by being able to learn this new skill, and test kind of the capacity that you have for learning. You won't be a one trick pony anymore, if you will. Another thing is goal setting. When it comes to your self improvement, goal setting is so very important. Um, to be able to stretch yourself out and grow in how you work and how you interact with others, you have to be able to encourage yourself to meet and make new goals. Um, a very sure way to help yourself to reach your goals is to create a development plan that you can follow, a way that you can reach small steps that lead to this bigger and far more exciting picture of success. So that way it is not only manageable, but also realistic for you to reach your goals. And to be able to have this roadmap, it's less stressful, right? Because when you come up with a goal, it's very easy to think about a huge picture and let all of those things weigh on you rather than weighing one task at a time, which is far less stressful. uh, I'm somebody that likes to put everything onto a calendar or be able to cross things out of a list, because that way you feel a tangible progress. You're really making a difference on paper and in the real world. And one of the last things that we're going to talk about in more depth is accepting feedback and constructive criticism. This one is hard. It's hard for everybody. I think it's hard for me. Uh, I don't think it's an easy thing to hear from others that you can be doing something better, especially if you were confident in it to begin with. But it is such an important component of life for you to be able to improve based off of what others see and be able to take those comments for what good they could do, for what improvements you can have. And you have to look at this is feedback and constructive criticism as another opportunity for you to take, for you to be better. So feedback and constructive criticism are a critical component of improving the way that you work and you survive and how you live your life. Without it, no one would know what they're good at, and nobody would know what they're not good at, which is very important to be able to understand what you are doing well and what you can be doing better at. And though it can be difficult at times, you have to do your part to make feedback and criticism as painless as possible, especially when giving it to others. And you have to train yourself to accept the advice, with an open mind. So this accepting feedback and constructive criticism is hard, but also very worthwhile. And then there's a couple of other things that I think are pretty self-explanatory to just mention. Things that you can always self-improve on are your flexibility, your ability to weave in and out of situations that you're going through without being too, too rigid, right? You want to be able to flex, don't break, bend, don't break. Maybe that's the better saying. And then also work on trust. You have to be able to trust others. And without any line of trust, you're going to have a very hard time of going through life. And although trust can be broken, it is better to at least give the trust an opportunity to make itself stronger by repeated tests and trying. And a couple of other things would be sympathy, being able to look at things from other people's point of view, to be able to make sure you understand why people make decisions, and to be able to look at it from their side of the table. And last but not least, honesty. Honesty is so very important when it comes to establishing that trust we talked about. And honesty is also important for you, because if you're self-improving, a big part of self-improvement is to be able to go to sleep at night knowing that you've done everything you can to keep your life going well. And honesty is the best way for me to be able to sleep at night knowing that even though I make mistakes, we can always improve. So that was a great episode that I've been looking forward to with Fernando. If there's anything else Fernando would like to add.
I mean, honestly, I actually really did enjoy making this episode with you, Jake. I mean, I think we hit crucial skills and attributes that is truly beneficial to everyone, no matter how good you think you are or how bad you think you are. Everyone can improve in some way, shape, or form. And in these sets of skills and attributes that we just mentioned, there's honestly no perfect. No matter how much experience you have or whatever it is that you have, there's always room for improvement in these specific things. So I think this is something that you can always hit home with. But honestly, if just for the audience, if you guys want to hear more about this, more specifics, more details, or more personal stories, or more, honestly, whatever you guys want to hear, just let us know, because we're honestly open to any feedback that you guys give us. We always take into consideration, and Jake obviously likes to talk about ourselves, and so do I. So whatever you guys want to hear, just let us know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to us. Like always, we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all platforms. So yeah, thank you guys so much for your time. Jake, if there's any more comments.
Yep. So this is the Need to Heat podcast, where the details make the big picture, with Jake Lynch
And Fernando Davila. Thank you all, and have a great day.
Thank you.